Welcome, this is your life now, a wasteland where we all take a vow.
Hi, my name is Mallory, and I've had multiple sclerosis for 20 years and have utilized a power wheelchair for 13 years. I share what my family's experience is like navigating a chronic illness, and today I have my husband with me, Brad.
Hi there.
And we've been busy, man.
Yeah, we have.
It's December, so wow. We made it through one major holiday, Thanksgiving, and about to round it out with Christmas. It's just a really busy time of year for us. So
Yeah, it is.
but anyways, we went to Louisiana
For Thanksgiving.
right. And I mean, we planned as much as we could
Right.
for that. We didn't leave when you wanted to leave.
I know. I wanted to leave at, I think, 9 o'clock or something. And you're like, oh, we could just kind of throw some clothes on and go. And
We had a completely different idea of the departure time, and like you said 9, but I thought there was a ton of wiggle room with that.
maybe it was 9-ish.
And so I was very giggly and la-di-da and like, it'll all come together when it needs to. And so you were
It's only an 8-hour drive, I wanted to get on the road.
get prompt. Yeah. And so anyways, we left a little anxious because I was very chill and didn't realize until like we were getting in the vehicle that you wanted to be a lot more prompt. So anyways, it prompted a bit of anxiety and
On both of us,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
and I don't know. It just was a difference in our idea when we were leaving. But anyways, we got there in perfect time. But
Yeah. Just in time to have dinner, cook some burgers. And
and before the sun went down.
Before the sun went down. Yeah, I remember that.
You were scared of critters. And,
Yeah, I didn't want to run into anything.
Yeah.
Like being in, I guess, unknown territory.
Yeah, unfamiliar.
And it being deer season and all that. Like, I didn't want anything to jump out in the road. And,
So we did it. We made it. I mean, you were a magician on the road and getting around. So you surely did it. But this was also our first time trying a Foley catheter.
Yeah. So should we talk about how we put it in?
Absolutely. So, and to be honest, that was like the whole, like our time was pushed back a little bit. And then, so time was pushed back because of our lack of communication and through that. But then additionally, like this was the first time we did the Foley catheter. And I mean, you played with like a sample to get the idea.
It was a wrong size. Yeah. But yeah, we played with it. But maybe you should also explain what a Foley cath is. Yes.
So a Foley catheter is a catheter that you can insert through your urethra. Yee.
Good job.
And there's a balloon that is you fill with saline water,
right?
That holds it in your bladder.
Right.
And you can utilize, so that you sometimes, I'm not sure if it's the same one, but similar to what you come out of surgery with.
I'm assuming what's at a hospital. If you wake up with a cath in a hospital, there's a bag on the edge of the bed
and so
stuff like that.
But and of course it's attached. There's a drain that's attached to a bag, and your urine just flows, so I could drink as much as I wanted and not have to run to the restroom. And the whole point was we didn't want to have to stop and, get me out of the vehicle, because that's another thing. We also took your truck, which isn't wheelchair accessible.
Right. So that involves getting the manual wheelchair out, finding a bathroom, these small, independently owned gas stations don't necessarily have big bathrooms.
Well, and that's when we travel in Texas, like west, there's Walmarts. We always try to hit Walmarts.
Right.
But when we're traveling east and through very rural parts of
It's just trees from
East
miles
Texas
and miles.
and so there's nowhere that is even close to like relatively meeting our needs. And so anyways, when talking with our urologist, this was our best bet to keep me comfortable and to keep you comfortable too.
Right. Yeah. Less stress on me. Less. Yeah.
So we did that. We did a Foley catheter on the way there and on the way home.
Yeah.
It's so to insert that, given our first time around.
So we didn't know. Once we had the bag, or once. I guess when we put it in, we didn't want to be lugging it around while Mallory was in the wheelchair.
When you say lugging that around, you mean like a bag of my urine.
The bag of urine, right. So we opted to put Mallory in the passenger seat first and then insert it and get it all set up while Mallory was in the passenger seat. So,
spread eagle with.
Oh yeah. Lean back the chair, spread eagle, feet propped up on the dash.
Meanwhile,
and we're in our driveway at this point, and
which is safe. Nobody could see it.
Nobody could see us. Right.
But we also had an anxious dog and a anxious child.
Which we told them to go take the dog back inside, let mom and dad figure this out. And so this was a interesting ordeal having to do this the first time. So
we made it happen.
And
it worked.
About halfway through, we stopped on the side of the road and drained the bag and. I think it's the first time Mallory's had to pee on the side of the road.
I've never had that privilege that I could actually pull off. Actually, in the vehicle, while we were driving at given points, one, I was afraid to move because I've never done this before, and I'm like, oh my god, what if the balloon pops, or what if I yank it out, or it's just it's a foreign object in your body. So I was stealth still for 8.5 hours, but
on the way home though,
I felt much better. But
so we pulled behind a gas station on the way home, and same thing, spread eagle, chair backwards,
to insert it,
and put it in on the back of a small, not very busy gas station. But that one we did that pretty quick. We were on point with that one.
Yeah, we were much better at that. You were
seasoned.
Only barely.
Barely.
Yeah. But no. I think that's what I was saying. It had to be the most comparable to if I had a penis. I remember saying that. Feels like what it would if I had a penis. But anyways.
But anyway, on the way there, you got sick and nauseous and stuff pretty much the whole way. Yeah, I was
so motion sick for whatever. I know why. I took my medicine on an empty stomach. It was all in an effort just to have Buc-ee's be my meal that day, and that was a bad choice.
Because we're about an hour and a half away from Buc-ee's, and you took your pills about 30 minutes before we left the house, so that was a good 2 hours before you actually got any food on your stomach.
So I was motion sick the whole time, with this Foley catheter being a new experience for me, and I couldn't really I would get something in my stomach, but I couldn't
ease it up at all.
I couldn't eat full amounts, and I couldn't guzzle as much water as I really intended to, because I had this idea ooh, this is a fantastic opportunity to get super hydrated without being frustrated.
We brought big bottles of water. So, I was ready to fill that bag. That was a goal. I'm let's fill the bag.
But then I ended up being sick, so
didn't
which
eat
was
or
fine.
drink much of anything the entire 8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours, yeah.
So, but we made it. We made it just fine. Louisiana was good though.
It was fun.
Had a
Yeah.
fantastic time. We did. Yeah. I mean, I was sick the whole way there, and I mean, let me get past the whole like the parts where I was sick and didn't feel good. That was pretty much the fact that the temperature dropped on the way there.
It did.
Cool front came in, which we knew, but cool front for me means like a completely different body response.
Right. The change in barometric pressure really
and
affects you.
Yeah. So in turn, I didn't poop for an entire week. So I was uncomfortable, but oddly enough, still had an appetite. So
right.
Question is, where does it go? But we'll never know. But anyway, so I mean, I had that discomfort, but luckily we were in very good company and had lots of fun activities and things to do, and so I really wasn't like, that sounds miserable in theory, but I have lots of ways to keep myself distracted during that time. So
say we would Mallory opted out from getting on the boat, so we'd set her up with a good book on the patio and give her a blanket, and she would sit there and stare at the lake and read her book.
Yeah, watch the trees and read the books.
Yep.
Definitely enjoyed the wildlife and
saw some bald eagles.
Bald eagles.
Not really any gators. It was kind of cold.
We understood they were hibernating.
Yeah.
How many fish did y'all catch?
16. I gotta say, I caught most of them. And the biggest.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many? That was what? 4 fillets off the one?
4 fillets off one catfish. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a little chilly, and then y'all went. So it was already cold, and y'all went out on the boat twice, and that just sounded so awful for me.
And it was windy.
Yeah.
And the rocking of the boat and the rough water and stuff, I think, would have made you sick anyway. So I mean, it was probably a good idea that we didn't attempt that.
Which you did. You attempted. You were adamant that I was gonna go and get to experience all the things you guys were, but I remember like having to like look you in the eyes and like just tell you this is a really bad idea. You're gonna regret this.
I like being with you though. I like spending time with you.
I know, but I do think I don't know. You called me in the middle of the lake at one point and was. And were pretty much telling me, like, I'm so glad you did not come. You were right.
Yeah. No.
So.
And then I held up a fish up to the phone, catfish up to the phone that was, I don't know, how do you make, what noise it was making, but the...
Gagging on air.
Gagging on air, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I would call that.
Quarking or whatever, yeah. So, and then, anyway, Mallory wanted to get off the phone at that point, so...
I was grossed by that. But yeah, so we had a great time, and then the drive home was so much better.
Oh, you weren't sick?
I wasn't sick at all. I ate. Foley Catheter experience was much more comfortable. We knew what we were doing and what to expect with that.
Right.
So.
Right.
And I did not get a UTI at all from that. That was another
That was
huge
a big
worry.
concern about having a tube in your urethra for 8 hours.
Yeah. That was a big concern, and I mean, we came out in the good.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, when we got home, I think that weekend we ended up going to the Abilities Expo, and say if you don't know what that is, like I guess kind of explain what Abilities Expo is.
I've already forgotten how many they do, but the Abilities Expo is put on in several major cities across the U.S. and in Texas, we're blessed to have 2 opportunities. There's one in Houston and one in Dallas every year. And so we've just, I don't know, for probably 10 years now.
Yeah, we've been going for quite a few years. Yeah,
we've made it a priority to go, and I mean, you can feel like a shift in like, I guess culture, like how it's changed over the years for the
Right.
better, for the worse, and whatever. And I'm sure it will continue to shift. And and when I say shift, I mean like the resources available, what they cover, but also the vendors. There's a lot of I shouldn't say vendors, exhibitors is what they call them.
Right.
But there's a lot of exhibitors there that are featuring their accessible products. So like wheelchairs, Powermobile's there, Quantum's there, vehicles, so Toyota's there, Braun Mobility, excuse me. Braun is there with their vehicles, and
Right.
so
We went with a goal or with something in mind. Like we had an
agenda.
Agenda. That's the word. Yeah, we had an agenda to what we were looking for when we went.
Mm-hmm.
So we were looking for a travel power wheelchair, something that didn't weigh 400 pounds like the one that Mallory's currently in.
Yeah.
So Mallory got to test drive. How many chairs? 3?
I think I really only sat in 3, and then we looked at others, and I had already made up my mind at that point, and so I just really wasn't impressed by anything.
Right.
So, but I mean, I had specific things, mostly comfort. Because if I'm not sitting in my regular everyday wheelchair, like when we travel and I'm away from what I know to be comfortable, I want to make sure I'm as close to that as possible. And so, I mean, there were some that just absolutely didn't make sense.
There was jerky,
Yeah.
like stop and go was really jerky. It wasn't smooth.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, there's certain little things, like if you're going to buy a wheelchair, you definitely, or a travel wheelchair, you definitely need to test drive them.
The more we looked at things too, I remember thinking, oh, I didn't realize that was something I wanted.
An option.
Yeah. And so anyway, so we did make a purchase. We'll be covering that, and hopefully a podcast episode coming up soon.
I mean, we can tell them what it is and just go in
details.
more detail.
Yeah.
So it's the brand is ComfyGo.
Mm-hmm.
It is a Majestic IQ 9000.
Yeah.
It's the color we got is gold and with purple seats, and it has auto reclining and all kinds of stuff. So, but anyway, yeah, we'll go into more detail about it and kind of how we picked it out and the other options that we saw and stuff like that later. So,
yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, so we did that, and then
you had talked to.
No, I'm like, that was the crazy busy week.
It was very busy.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
The holiday stress.
And I think you spent 45 minutes talking with a guy at the Christopher Reeve Foundation.
Yes, actually. So that's the other part about the Abilities Expo that is probably my favorite part. Is because, I mean, one, while it is extremely fatiguing for me, socializing is the most rewarding thing for me. To make personal connections with people and visit with people and reconnect with people. And so that's kind of what the Abilities Expo is for me, as well as all of these vendors and folks that I've been working with throughout the years, as long as I've been in a wheelchair. Like I see a lot of familiar faces, and actually people look at me saying the same thing. Actually, the where we bought our wheelchair, the new power wheelchair, like that gentleman was like, I know you, I just don't know where. And I'm like, well, I mean, we come every year. And so, which they looked familiar to me too. But anyways, yeah, so I had a very, very lengthy conversation with a gentleman that I reconnected with the Christopher Reeve Foundation. And so that was really exciting, because he kind of set me in the trajectory of like being a peer partner and assisting him with some of the MS things that come across.
I think one of the things that kind of stopped you at that booth was you saw a pamphlet that said something about bowel movements, or struggling with bowel movements or something like that.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what prompted the conversation.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, we just started
considering the whole week that you went through without having to poop. So,
well, that's I don't know. That's just something like I've recently discovered. Like, it's really challenging to be, to have just like a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis when, if you're only meeting me virtually or you have multiple sclerosis in your mind, like my opinion is I feel like some physicians look at me and don't really know the extent of my nerve damage,
right,
or the lack thereof. So, I mean, every MS patient's different, and really in my mind, like I've just kind of stumbled upon the fact that there's a lot of good resources through the Christopher Reeves Foundation that has helped support the state that I'm in. And we talked about that on the way home from the expo too.
Yeah, we did.
Like, I've never labeled myself as paralyzed, but when you open all of the material for Christopher Reeves Foundation, it's MS, ALS, and other injuries. Like those are the 3 common diagnoses and themes that are listed in their material. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't know how I've felt about it. I've just been weird about it, not coming to terms with that myself.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's.
But it's been a very valuable resource for me, for sure.
It's definitely different, kind of looking at it from that aspect. Like you not only have MS, but I mean, almost considered paralyzed from the waist down. Like, I mean, yeah, you can stand and lock your knees, but there's no walking. There's no bladder control. There's issues with bowel movements. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I understand, the Christopher Reeve Foundation, considering what happened to Mr. Reeve, like how those type of things can help you.
Right. So it's just, I don't know. It was rewarding to reconnect with him and really speak to my own realizations, and he helped me kind of connect with some other physicians that he's found helpful with spasms and things like that. So right. Anyway, so I'm excited to see where that goes, probably in the new year. I'm like, everything is kind of bottlenecked by the holidays, but that was the week that like kicked off the craziness of December for us.
The holidays. Yeah.
But I'm like, what did we have that weekend? It was, we had the Abilities Expo, and immediately that same day we were going to a concert, a Christmas concert.
Yes, I forgot about that.
And then I don't even remember. We had something else Saturday.
It was busy.
It was chaos for 4 days solid. And then the next weekend was something. I think we actually got last weekend. We got a break last weekend.
Right.
Yeah. And then it's Christmas, so.
Yeah. So.
And then, but yeah, I'm like, I don't know. It's this time of year. It's always kind of like I get worried about it, and.
You do that every year. You end up getting worried about it. You end up with
how am I gonna like maintain this stamina?
You end up giving yourself a migraine almost every year.
My regular New Year's Eve migraine, which isn't gonna happen because we've got plans.
We've got plans. We're ready. We got friends coming over. We're gonna smoke a brisket. We're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, I'm not gonna think about. Yeah, I'm not gonna get the migraine this year.
We're gonna roll with the flow.
But yeah, and so I mean, and I have the things to help. I have medications to help me with the fatigue, and then to get me to sleep because of the medication for fatigue. I mean, I have all those things in place, but it just makes me. I guess it stresses me out a little bit because I have to think differently and plan differently, like. Right. Because like today's Christmas Eve, and so I'm like, I know we have Christmas Eve service. I have a commitment with that I've got to have my mind together for. But then like I volunteered at our hospital this morning as well, and so I'm like, okay, how I had to shift things around a little bit just to make sure I had the stamina to maintain that, and so that just meant like I went in a little later, and so. I don't know, it's just the added worry of like shifting to maintain, which I've successfully managed. Yeah. First weekend was a little scary, but I don't know, you driving everywhere helps tremendously. Yeah. So
I feel better. There's less stress when I know I'm driving. Like you driving by yourself makes me nervous because like I never know
I mean, like, how I use my energy, like, if I'm going to transfer and drive, but also, like, it is draining to drive outside of our small town as well, because that's also fatiguing and draining to be on to watch and be a defensive driver, you know?
And that you know, that's, we're working on teaching my daughter how to drive, and it's one of the things that we're slowly figuring out, that there's a lot that we take for granted while driving, like focusing on the cars coming towards you, the cars coming from the sides, the bright lights that are, you know, blowing you away when you're coming at you. Like there's just so much that we do on a regular basis that is fatiguing. That your brain has got to continually be alert. And
and I'm like, so those things, like, before I get behind the wheel, I always factor in, like, how I feel, like, is this safe? Like, that's always my biggest concern. But I'm like, and that you're teaching our daughter to drive, and that's so we're having fun.
oh yeah, I don't know, the driving part is sometimes rough. Me and my daughter are very much alike, so it's arguing moments at times, but
neither is gonna back down.
We're very stubborn individuals. But anyway, next subject. I think we should move on to fitness, or I guess this month or two, lack thereof, right?
Yeah, it's been, I don't know, with all the busyness. I think the busyness, and then, I don't know, I've been really up and down with how I've felt. It's really, honestly, it's been right in line with what Texas weather looks like.
And that's what I was about to say. I'm like, the weather.
I'm like, today I'm moving great.
Like, the weather has been up, I don't know how many cold fronts we've had since like the 1st of November. Like, we've had 4 or 5 different cold fronts come through, and the fluctuation in barometric pressure and the cold and the hot and the rain and the humidity and all this stuff just plays a huge part on how you feel day to day. So when it's cold and rainy, or it's coming, I'm in the pits. So I'm like, to the point, none of our physical fitness or the things, not even just fitness, just the things that keep me comfortable, and that's getting in the gym. Those things have kind of gone. They've been on the back burner. No, they've been on the far back burner. So, New Year's resolution.
Yep.
So, but I mean, we try to do stretching in the morning and stuff like that to kind of loosen up the hips a little bit and stuff like that. So, I mean, wake her old thing
Wake
up. her up. Yeah. Probably need to do stretching a little more often than we do. I think we do it once or twice a week.
Yeah, it's
probably should stretch a little more often.
It's just when I'm super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And wake up feeling every bit of it. So. But yeah, so hopefully the next time we chat on this platform, it's back in the gym and eating right and moving away from the holiday.
Right. Yeah.
Holiday junk.
No more excuses to eat bad food and stuff like that. We're going to do like the rest of the world does and call health and fitness a New Year's resolution. And hopefully we can make it happen and maintain it. There we go.
I mean, I have an excuse.
No, you don't.
The weather. Actually, I say that. There was one day, like, I'm like thumbing through my brain trying to figure out why I feel like the way I feel, and I'm like, it's the fog. It's the fog.
Yeah, it was like super foggy that day, and we looked outside and having our morning coffee, and it's like, oh, it's super foggy. Oh, that's why I feel. Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Which I don't know if either one of us were really serious with that, or I think I was in like the headspace of I'm just gonna blame it on something at this point. Like,
I feel different.
Yeah, I'm like,
we're gonna blame it on the weather.
It's always the weather, so let's blame it on the fog today. So. But anyways, so.
I think that's all we got for today. I think this is
that's our catch up.
Kind of a wrap up on catching up with what's been going on the last few months. Yeah. So, but anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying the content we're creating, please remember to subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and find us wherever you can get your podcasts.